Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And that's why we're excited to be talking about Leadership Memphis, Volunteer Memphis, making a difference, and so much more. That's why we're honored to have with us Dr. Bobby White, President and CEO of Leadership Memphis and Volunteer Memphis, along with Candace Tate, Director of Volunteer Memphis and Community Outreach. How are you two doing?
Man, what I wish is that I had the enthusiasm that you have, right? But it was infectious. So I'm doing absolutely wonderful, man. Happy to be back after a break, and excited about just moving forward with this work.
Yeah, we are definitely excited to be here, Jeremy. Thank you for having us on today.
Absolutely. Well, you all do tremendous good. We've worked with Leadership Memphis, Volunteer Memphis for a long time. And so super excited to have this conversation. But let's start, Dr. Bobby White, on your end, relatively new in the role of President and CEO, but definitely not new to Leadership Memphis and Volunteer Memphis. So let's start for everyone to get to know you better. Give us a little bit of your storyline, especially tied to being a native Memphian and a long career in education.
Yeah. Well, 2014, graduate of Leadership Memphis, as everyone would say, the best class ever. I am definitely a native Memphian. Fraser High School graduate. I was a district, my career is I've done a number of things, right? But I settled in after working for the federal government, for a couple of years after graduating at the top of my class at Lamont as I settled in education. And I was a teacher, baseball coach, track coach, assistant principal for a number of years. And then I was a principal, right? And after being a principal for about 4 years, the opportunity came for me to start my own schools through the Achievement School District. And I was able to do that in a 3-year period. I was able to move from having one school to 3 schools, from a staff of 40 people to a staff of 250 people. From a budget of $4 million to a budget of $25 million. And so over the last 12 years prior to having the opportunity to take on this role as a president and CEO of Leadership Memphis, I have been not only a charter management organization leader, but a grassroots leader, a leader of the community, a voice of the community. And I saw this is an opportunity for me to change directions in my career, but take advantage of all of the things that I've learned in my career. And the excitement that I have around taking all of the over 4,000 warriors that we have as Leadership Memphis alumni, and putting together a strategy so that we're helping to impact everything that happens in the city is something that I wake up excited about. I love making change, being a change agent. And I've spent the better part of the last 25 years doing that through K-12 education. And now I have the opportunity of doing it through Leadership Memphis. And I couldn't be more excited about and more honored to be in this seat. Because, everybody doesn't get the opportunity to do this. And so I'm super excited about that.
Well, when you talk about being a change agent, you are a change maker recipient, the award recipient for Leadership Memphis. So, it's in the DNA for sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead, and for each one of you, I want you to kind of give a little bit of the storyline in terms of Leadership Memphis, Volunteer Memphis. Dr. White, let's stay on you for
Yep.
Leadership Memphis. And so education plays a vital role, community activation,
Yes.
community relationships. So talk about Leadership Memphis, and then we'll have Candace talk about Volunteer Memphis.
Yeah, so I mean, as I said earlier, we have over 4,000, and I am gonna continue to say warriors and soldiers that are a part of this fraternity, if you will. And we have always been a part of, collaboration and catalyzing community service and volunteerism in Memphis in the 901, right? What I want us to move forward with is being so strategic about how we're doing that, where we're utilizing the most influential leaders in our city. Like we all know, everyone who is someone in our city has been through Leadership Memphis. It's almost like a gateway, if you will, to the next level of leadership in our city. And with those 4,000 folk, I want to have a complete strategy so that we can execute on how to impact the challenges that we're facing in our city. Absolutely, we want to continue to grow and have folks be interested in our class, in our program, our fast track program, as well as our executive program. But this is it's kind of a part of it. How I'm seeing it is this: the reputation, the value add of who we are, and bringing in all of the talent, and us having a strategy around how to utilize that talent so that talent is displaced in a way that it supports all of the ills or challenges that we face in our city. Is something that I want to leave as a legacy or continue as the legacy of Leadership Memphis. If we're able to say that each Leadership Memphis cohort, whether it be fast track or EP, they are connected to something that impacts the city in an ongoing basis, on an ongoing basis, pardon me, then over time, our city changes. And the folks that came through our program are the people that help change it. The mayor Mayor Young is an alum, right? If he has a think tank, why wouldn't the people on his think tank all be a part of, be alums from Leadership Memphis, who we all understand that have an expertise in a certain area because of what they do. They bring that knowledge to the table with the mayor, and as a result, we impact the work for the city. Just to be clear, Leadership Memphis is designed to take the best and brightest and the leaders in our city and to give them the tools and skills connected to community and civic engagement to afford them the opportunity to be able to create an impact. We just want to make sure that we're being more clear about how that impact is made. And I'm super excited about having the opportunity to lead that and being very strategic about it in ways that maybe we've never thought about before. Right.
Candace, let's switch over and talk about Volunteer Memphis. So give us some background on Volunteer Memphis, and then we'll tie that into MLK Day of Service.
Absolutely. So the service arm of our organization is Volunteer Memphis. Founded as the Volunteer Center of Memphis in 1975, we connect volunteers with over 300 nonprofits and schools, mobilizing individuals, families, and businesses to strengthen Memphis through service. We engage thousands of volunteers yearly addressing critical community challenges. So, at the top of every year, we have our MLK Days of Service, which honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy of service. We hope that you can join us on Saturday, January the 18th, for the Health and Wellness Fair, which will be held at the Hollywood Community Center. If you're unable to join us on Saturday, you are welcome to check out the Volunteer Memphis website, where you can sign up for several different kinds of volunteer opportunities that run from Thursday, January the 16th through Monday, January the 20th. So that Health and Wellness Fair that I talked about on Saturday, that'll be at the Hollywood Community Center. It's open to the community. There'll be health screenings, community resources, family-friendly activities, so bring out the kids as well. They have health screenings, free health checks, blood pressure, Shot RX is going to be there. So if you need any shots to get updated, that flu and that COVID booster, it's time for that right now. And we'll also have vendor booths, so you'll be able to connect with local businesses and resources to help get plugged in throughout the city.
Carry that into when you talk about the days of service, but carrying that service piece throughout the year. Talk about how the public can interface through Volunteer Memphis and how you do make it easy to get involved and serve and make a difference here in our city.
Absolutely. It's very easy to get involved. Once you sign up for the Volunteer Memphis website, you can go through and be a fan for all of the various agencies we have listed on the website. And they'll automatically send you information out when they post new listings for service. You can sign up as a team, as a corporation, as a group. I'm doing a service project for my birthday to bring my friends out to help an organization. So again, like you said, it is very easy. There's an app that you can also download to track your hours. Super simple. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at ctate@leadershipmemphis.org, and I'll be happy to guide you. And that's for organizations as well. If you're an organization that wants to have your listings and service opportunities on the website, I'm here to help.
Talk about when you look at, you're already obviously starting right out of the gate with the MLK Days of Service, on a high note for 25 in terms of activation and relationship building, getting ingrained in the community. Talk about some of the things that make you excited for the year ahead for 25. When you look at Leadership Memphis, Volunteer Memphis, the ability to, just like we're talking about, to dive in and help individuals understand their strengths, understand how they can be a galvanizing force in the community, how they can go serve in the community, how they can lift others and encourage them to get involved, to be change makers. So talk about some of the things that really excite you tied to Leadership Memphis and Volunteer Memphis for 2025.
So for 2025, I'm really excited. We didn't talk about this earlier, but I'm even newer than Dr. White is to the organization. This is about my third week. So I'm really excited to dive in, get to connect with these nonprofit organizations, as well as the alumni of the programs, so that they can come back and really dive into service. When I graduated Fast Track in 2017, there was a lot of talk about making a promise to come back and be engaged in the city. And this is an amazing opportunity to be engaged. I love being able to connect and be a resource for organizations that people might not have heard of to come back and be involved. So we have a whole year of programming. There'll be different projects going on where people can jump in and serve, or just come out to hear what Leadership Memphis and Volunteer Memphis are about and figure out how they can plug in and be just as connected as everybody else.
Dr. White, what makes you excited for 25?
Yeah, I was about to say, if I may jump in, for me, it's just alignment around strategy. Like, we know this organization has been amazing and has done amazing work since its inception with Pitt Hyde and Fred Smith and those folks back in 1979 with Dr. Harrington. Like, we know this organization has done amazing work. This is 2025. How does the power of the organization impact the city in a way that everyone understands? I think for years, what we have, everybody is always excited about Leadership Memphis, but I want to be able to say, here is what we are doing. Here is the impact that we have had on the city this last 6 months, this year, these 2 years, these 5 years. And so what I'm excited about, Jeremy, is having a strategy that engages the former alumni, pulls them back in with the idea around impact at a high level that takes advantage of their skill set, their expertise, their social and political capital to impact the city's social ills, economic ills, all of the things that we know that are challenges for our city at a high level so that we can become legendary. I talk about one of the things that is super important to me is about waking up every morning feeling like you're the best at what you do, right? And I want us as the new Leadership Memphis, this new iteration of leaders here, that we embody that spirit around having a level of energy, enthusiasm, hope, and a strategic expertise around how we utilize our program and the professional development that we provide to impact the city at a high level. I know it sounds grandiose, but it's not. With the talent that the alumni base has, if we are able to ensure that we can have a plan, get folks to commit to civic leadership by continuing to push folks into our executive class as well as our fast track class, get folks to serve and register for Volunteer Memphis, and really important, using their dollars to impact Memphis by donating to Leadership Memphis. It is important that we are able to do this work at a high level, and we need support for our programs. We need support for our new building. Like, we need support for all of that, right? So all of those things tied together, man, it's going to be an exciting year. One that will go down as like the new era of Leadership Memphis. And I say that with all due respect for everything that has happened, but I think people have to understand, I think this is the first year like we really are like so far away from COVID, because any kind of professional development program or schools in general that went through COVID, like you had well, everyone knows what happened with COVID. And so now we're a couple years away so now people are not finally able to say, you know what, here's who we're going to be. Here's who we want to be, and here's how we're going to move forward in order to get to the point where we will be what we say we aspire to be. And so there's a level of excitement and enthusiasm that we have that probably is unprecedented at this point.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap up. Where do we go to learn more and get involved with Leadership Memphis and Volunteer Memphis?
Absolutely. So if you want to learn more about Leadership Memphis and Volunteer Memphis, you can head on over to leadershipmemphis.org, and you can access Volunteer Memphis from the Leadership Memphis website. We're also on social media, Facebook and Instagram, at Leadership Memphis or Volunteer Memphis.
That makes it easy. Well, Dr. Bobby White, Candace Tate, thank you for all you and your amazing team do with Leadership Memphis and Volunteer Memphis to power the good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, man. We appreciate you.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.